What's up, everybody? I just want to give you all a daily reminder to ask why. Don't be afraid to question things. You feel me, dog? I'm just saying, when you're out there in the world and you see some funky stuff, ask why. Remember when Facebook banned or suspended the New York Post's story about Hunter Biden's laptop that was found in the pawn shop? Why? Hunter Biden himself said that could be his. So why? Why ban that? What's the reason behind that? Do you hear that there's that man who's a transgender woman who's going to be competing for New Zealand's Olympic team? Why? Why would you let a man do that? Yes, they believe they're a woman, but they were a man. They have the body of a man. They had other features of a man too. You know what I'm saying there? So why would you let them do that? And why would you let them do that at the Olympics? Why even have teams if we're going to do it like that? And why does this man want to cut off his penis and trade it in for a vagina? The why of things, you know? And that shouldn't be taboo to ask. You shouldn't be like, oh, you're transphobic for asking that. What? I'm just curious, man. This just started happening. So I'm able to ask why. The other day, I posted a video about Nickelodeon and PBS having drag queens in their content. Blue's Clues had a little pride parade celebration with a drag queen who was leading the charge. PBS had a drag queen by the name of, I believe, Little Hot Mess promote her book, The Hips on the Drag Queens Go Swish, Swish, Swish. Why? Like what? Just ask why. That's what I was asking why. And I was talking to a friend before about it, and he says, dude, just be more open-minded. Why can't you just be more open-minded? And I mentioned to him, or I had to stop him for a second. I was just like, hey, I'm not closed-minded. I'm just asking why. Like, what is the purpose behind that? Because especially when it comes to these shows where millions of dollars are spent on it, there is a purpose, right? Like there's a motivation for this. So why would you choose to show or introduce kids ages 3 to 8, which is what these shows are made for, to drag queens? You can look at the video. I'll put a link to it. But it was funny because my buddy's reaction was to first, I don't know, believe that I was closed-minded. But I am not a closed-minded person. You know, I like all people. All good as long as you're a good person. As long as you're a good person, you're good. But it's just funny how the first thought from like somebody who doesn't have maybe the same belief or who hasn't thought about it is to label you as something that's kind of bad. I feel this has gained a lot of traction from the media. You know, if you're for a wall, you're a racist, right? If you wear a MAGA hat, you're a racist. If you supported Donald Trump, you're a racist. But most of the people I know, at least in the area that I live, who support Donald Trump are Hispanic or have some Hispanic lineage in them. And I'm talking about people straight from the border too. Don't know much English or still like learning English. So why? Why is it being pressed like that? Why are we even moving to these labels that shut down conversations? You know, if you question, hey, why should a man who believes he's a woman use the woman's restroom? Why are we forcing those beliefs of his onto all these other people, like all these other women? I'm labeled a transphobe or transophobe or however you want to phobe it up. Like why? What's the purpose behind it? What's the motivation? So it's important to ask why, because it leads to conversation, right? Or it leads to knowledge. Because you may find that there's a perfectly good explanation for it. Who knows? But you need to ask why. We can't be sheeps to just this media and this content. You know, you see the TikTok, right? And you see people doing these little trends. Kids just fall in line with stuff. I'm sure we all did it. We just fall in line with trends. We eat it up. We want to be about it. We want to be with the people. We want to be with the group. But is that good? Or why? Like, because now, you know, at the time, trends were a little bit more, it almost feels independent. Yeah, people relied on TV and radio to a degree, but our phones are always with us. Like, they have more control and tabs on us than ever before. And content and ideas that are pushed on us from people who are getting paid millions and millions of dollars to make their advertisers and their funders happy, they should be questioned. Like, it shouldn't be a problem. It shouldn't be an issue to question why. It shouldn't be like, oh, you want a wall, or oh, you want tougher immigration, it's be like, let's talk about it, you know? Or like, what are your reasons behind it? And here's another tip that we all need to work on is don't be offended when people ask you why. You should be able to explain your position to a fault or to a T or just very well. You should explain it very well, right? You should be able to back up your position if you have a position. You know, I feel like people take positions too easily. There's not enough people who are sitting in the middle looking at both sides before making a decision. They hear something good, they hear something from their friend, they hear something from the TV, and that's it. That's their research. They're done. And when they're questioned, they hold it like religion, like they studied this subject for their whole life. You know, it's crazy. Don't be afraid to ask why, and don't be a puss when people ask you why. If you're so strong rooted in your beliefs and they come from a logical place that actually makes sense, you should have no problem defending them. Or not even defending, explaining them would be the better term. So you heard it here, folks. Don't be afraid to ask why, and don't be a puss when asked why. It's important to ask the question of why, the why of things, right? Like this dude the other day came up to me and he said, why is this and why is that? And I said, boy, well, I better tell you why. Okay? Yeah, I'm gonna tell you why right now. And he just raised at me. He said, well, I didn't know why it was, but it came again. You know what I'm saying? It came again.